everybody to TruExact Show. We are following up wildcard weekend with another show here about the NFL playoffs. If you may have noticed, first, we're going to preview the divisional round, recap the wildcard round, get into more picks. And if you've noticed, it is now college basketball season for me, as my Dallas Cowboys, some would say, did what they usually and were supposed to do. Wow, what a shocker there. I was shocked. We'll get to that as well. But first, we're going to go around the table. Tim, how was your weekend?
Brother, the Jets didn't lose. And some of y'all joined me late tea time, but you guys still made it there. Cheers.
All right, fair enough. Nas, how are you doing? Coming off a 3-0, questionable. I'll get to that later. A 3-0 picks week on your debut. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Just chilling. That's it.
All right. Sounds good, sir. You sat back, you kicked your feet up, you waited to see who you were going to play, and you're playing a team that you have dominated. We will get to that later. Past few times in the playoffs. How excited are you for this weekend?
Let the games begin. Now the postseason can start.
And now that we got rid of the round table and did all that, we have to address the elephant in the room. It is the Dallas Cowboys and me. And them sucking again and sucking my soul out of my body.
I tried to tell you, Scott. I tried to tell you.
We are going to start previewing this Cowboy and Packer game, and I'm going to start, and I'm sure you guys have a lot to say. I know everybody wants to blame the quarterback. That's what comes with wearing the star on your helmet. It happened to Romo a lot. Defense will let up 51 points. They lose 51-48. Tony Romo gets blamed. Dak played like garbage. I'm not going to sit here and defend him. I wouldn't extend him. I'd let him play out the final year of his contract. I recently heard on the radio, didn't know this, that this is the longest tenured quarterback for any team right now in the NFL, which really shows how fast time is going, because it seems like yesterday that he was taking snaps under center. However, I really want to step on the gas pedal of firing Mike McCarthy, which came to an abrupt break because last night they decided to keep Mike McCarthy. I never understood the notion of people saying Jerry Jones was a bad owner, because I think he's a pretty good GM. I think the past 10 years, he's drafted pretty well. I mean, if you look at some of his players, he's drafted better than, half, I don't want to say half, maybe all the teams in his division. Could be. However, by keeping Mike McCarthy, I kind of now understand what people were saying. It's hard to defend that move. Last night, I was very upset about it. Go, just let me finish, sir. Let me 1 second.
No, I was thinking about the draft thing. Has he been doing the draft, or has his son?
I'm going to say
his sons have taken
more influence. More influence. His son has had more influence, but regardless, I think it's ultimately his decision. It's his team. You know, if I was the owner, it'd be my decision. So I can't.
No, I get you. I'm saying I just know the son has had more say in like who they're taking.
Right. So I am not here to give Dak Prescott a pass. I'm not here to give anybody on that team a pass. I won't do that. I'm a pretty fair fan. The reason I didn't like the McCarthy move was because there are better options out there right now. Now, you have Harbaugh, Vrabel, Belichick. If there was word that they wanted no business coming to the Cowboys, I understand that. I just have a hard time believing that was the reason, even if it comes out that was the reason. I actually think Jerry's ego got in the way of this one. He didn't fire Jason Garrett for 10 years. And I was okay with that because at the time there really wasn't a Belichick out there. There wasn't a Harbaugh out there. Like, Garrett was okay, but you hung on him too long. I just don't want the same mistake to happen. I wouldn't extend McCarthy either. I know people don't want a coach on the last year of his contract. To me, I don't want him to know he has safety. This is it, in my opinion. You give Dak and McCarthy one more year married together. If they don't make the Super Bowl, they're gone. Both of them. I also have a gripe with Dan Quinn. Why are you running zone defense when you ran man all year? If I was interviewing him this week, I would have canceled the interview after that game. I really would have been like, you know what? We're good. We're good here. That being said, congrats to the Packers. They didn't just beat us. They beat the crap out of the Dallas Cowboys. It wasn't even a game. My dad actually looked at me, who was a Packer fan, and said, I actually feel bad for you right now. I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I said Jordan Love would be good. That was the silver lining I had. Now that's my thing right now. I'm gonna get to something after we go around and talk about this game, but I want to get to Nas first because Nas is an avid Dak, not hater, but he criticizes him. He's kind of along the lines of you have to let him go, whereas I'm along the lines of it's hard to find a quarterback, so you got to keep him. So Nas, I want you to analyze this game and what you think they should do, and if McCarthy was a good move to keep.
It just comes down to Dak played terrible in the first half. I mean, every drive in the first half, I'm pretty sure Dak came out as a quarterback. Whether the defense got torched for 7 points, 3 points, it doesn't matter. Dak was still the starting quarterback at the end of the day. Keeping McCarthy, personally, I don't think it's McCarthy. I think it's Dak, if you want me to be honest. But I get you have nowhere else to go. You got to drive, develop. I understand that. Cowboys are right now, it seems like. So I really don't think nothing was wrong with the McCarthy stay. I just think you got weapons around you. You had a defense that was, top 5 in takeaways?
Yeah.
I think it just came down. Dak didn't play well, and the defense didn't play well when it boils down to it. That's what it
would you agree this is a team loss more than just the quarterback loss?
I can see that, but Dak should have still played better. This was supposed to be the MVP of the league.
Correct.
And you come out and what were you, 87 yards, 2 interceptions in the first half? You threw for 404 touchdowns because you had empty calories in the fourth quarter.
Correct.
You had to throw.
Can't argue that. I'm on your side with this one. Now, I still stand by. Listen, I know Brock Purdy, everyone says, oh, you can find a quarterback anywhere. I was talking to Sir before this started. We got our Brock Purdy. That was Dak. He fell into our laps in the 4th round. He was the 3rd string quarterback. If Kellen Moore doesn't break his leg, Dak's not our quarterback. We also got lucky with Tony Romo, who was an undrafted free agent. So we've had our 2 Brock Purdys. The chances of us striking gold 3 times is not going to be likely. Yeah. So we've gotten them before. I'll go to Sir last because I know he has some stuff to say. I think he'll be on my side with this a little bit. So I'm going to go to Tim, who hasn't seen a quarterback since Chad Pennington.
I was going to say Green Bay struck gold 3 times. So there's still hope for you.
Right.
I'm going to just, to defend my comment last week, Dak MVP of the regular season. Season, not the playoffs. But also, Dak Prescott didn't play defense in this game. I don't think that's his position. He's quarterback. Did he play awful in the first half? Absolutely. Did he? He did the team no favors. Scott, I do agree with you, though. One more year of them together. Yeah. Give them I can understand now that you said that. I'm a little more okay with bringing them back a year because now just balls to the wall.
Yeah.
It's prove it or nothing. And you should see how people perform in their prove it year, whether it's a coach, whether it's a player. That's going to be the best year you're going to get.
Correct. And, I think we're on the same page there. Sir, you're the only winner in this room right now. Go on.
Listen, honestly, I'm not surprised that they kept McCarthy because the problem isn't so much the coach, it's Jerry. Jerry wants the Super Bowl so bad, but he also wants to be the chef behind winning the Super Bowl. The reason why you didn't get Belichick or Harbaugh is because they want power. They want say in the roster construction. McCarthy, he's out there coaching the players. Jerry Jones wants to pick the ingredients. He wouldn't allow somebody else to come in there and change the recipe. He wants to pick the players, build that constructive thing, and be the reason why they won the bowl. Not somebody else to come in, take over, reconstruct it, and then win. No, he wants total ownership of why they won the Super Bowl.
Fair. Now, the reason why I came to grips earlier this morning, and I'm kind of okay with Mike McCarthy, I want to read you guys something. This actually wasn't me. I was listening to WFAN this morning, Boomer and Gio, and they brought this up. And so I went and looked up the records here. Yeah, Mike McCarthy, lifetime record, 167, 102-2, 1 Super Bowl, 11-11 in the playoffs. I'm going to give you another record here. 173-102, 1 Super Bowl, 8-14 in the playoffs. Do you know who that is? That's Mike Tomlin. Now, Mike Tomlin is looked at as one of the best coaches in the NFL, and I agree with that. But everybody wants to keep him. Nobody thinks they should get rid of him. Only Steeler fans seem, and we all call him stupid. Yet everyone wants McCarthy gone. But if you look at the records, they're very similar. You look at the resumes, extremely similar. He had Big Ben. He had Aaron Rodgers. McCarthy, aside for if Brandon Bostic doesn't jump in front of Jordy Nelson, he's in another Super Bowl. Whereas I don't think Tomlin ever sniffed the third one after they lost to the Packers, and he won the first one with, some could argue, Bill Towers' team. Tim, you want to say something?
Yeah. So to defend Tomlin, who has he had since Big Ben at quarterback?
Money Mitch.
All they do, Money Mitch, yeah. Right. All they do is somehow win games and make the playoffs. It's and with not a stacked roster, and that division is always. I don't want to give Mike McCarthy a pass, but Mike McCarthy has a very, very good team to coach.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say the same for Pittsburgh.
I mean, also Clark Minton is a little bit of an issue with Mr. McCarthy.
Correct.
So,
I agree with that.
He needed 72 more timeouts to extend that game too.
No, but to go back to that game though, Scott, I tried to tell you last week. Listen, Dak, on regular season, especially at the crib, they've been putting up a lot of points and doing this. But I told you, I don't trust them in the coming postseason. What's the definition of insanity?
Yeah, I don't want to say that, but I understand.
You could tell if you watch the first half of that game, the communication between CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott was off, and it hasn't been off all year. That's been his go-to guy.
I blame coaching for that. I think what happened, and I'm just speculating here, how Dan Quinn went zone after going man-to-man all year. McCarthy was running 3 tight end sets, trying to establish a run. And CeeDee Lamb, I think, was like, what the hell are we doing? And I called a couple of my friends who were Packer fans, my cousin, Billy, and he said, this is why we hated McCarthy. He would go 12-4 with the Packers. The minute they got to the playoffs, he would change up the game plan, trying to outsmart the other team. But if I want to line up and win and play with what got me there, and if the other team beats me that way, I tip my hat. It's like get beat with your fastball, not your changeup, if that's your best pitch. If I'm going with the baseball reference. So I think that's just like his MO, which is even more infuriating, but that is what it is. Another year.
Another question, though, for that game, though. On the defensive side of the ball, Dan Quinn, what is he good with? Taking the ball away and creating pressure. Did he get any pressure on Jordan Love during the game?
Zone. They were in zone.
Yeah. They got no pressure off. They didn't take the ball away. Come on, fam.
So Scott, we're in a different group chat, right? And during the middle of the first quarter, they're like, are they going to put Micah Parsons in coverage every, what are they doing?
Wild.
It didn't make any sense.
And I'll say this, I've seen the, 1997 loss to the Panthers with Kerry Collins. The 98 wildcard loss to the Cardinals 20-7 versus Jake Plummer, which was kind of the end of the era of the Emmett Aikman and Irvin era. Then I saw the Romo drop snap. I saw the Dez non-catch. And I could sit here and say, this is the worst Cowboys playoff loss I've ever seen. As far as expectation, I was shell-shocked. Absolutely. It wasn't even like I'm pissed. I'm just like, what's what the fuck?
Honestly, as you say, I'm not surprised. I mean, the loss, whatever. If they would have lost a 24-20, 30-27, all right, you know what? Maybe you catch a bad break. Bro, it was 27-0 at halftime. If this was Madden, you're passing the sticks over to the next player.
Yeah. Wait, Scott, I got a question for you.
You know what I'm saying?
What do you got?
What do you think needs to happen as a Cowboys fan?
Now, as an older Cowboy fan, I know this sounds cheap, and I think Tim will agree with me on this. There's some teams, man, that are just snake bitten. I don't know. It's gonna take you're too young to remember how bad the Red Sox used to lose in crazy games. They didn't win a World Series for 86 years, right? It's 1918 to 04. And there was years 86, the ball goes through Buckner's legs, 76, or was 75, I think, where Fisk hits the home run down the left field and they lose game 7. And then, 0-3, you're 5 outs away, and they lose to the Yankees. And then eventually they're down 3-0, and it just happened. There was things like that never used to happen that ended up going their way. I know it sounds cheap, and it sounds like a cop-out, but it's just bad luck. I really do believe that, and I don't know what could change that. It's like, maybe Jerry firing Jimmy was a bad omen, like the Red Sox selling Babe Ruth, and maybe
God, 27 after the halftime ain't bad luck, bro.
Why do losers always bring luck into it?
No, it's not that, but getting the 2 seed, and you think it's going well, and then that happening is like, it's like you shake your head, like maybe this just is never going to happen.
A bad call by a ref, that's bad luck. A missed field goal, whatever, that's maybe some bad luck. Blown up at halftime is not bad luck.
I'm not saying that. I'm not. I think, Tim, you got what I'm saying. There's just an aura right now, a black cloud.
No matter what the Jets do in the draft, something bad is going to happen. No matter what they do in the offseason, guess what? Aaron Rodgers gets hurt the 4th play of the year. Like, it becomes comical, and like you're saying, 2nd seed going up, get blown out in the first game. You're like, of course that fucking happens, because why not? We're Dallas right now. That's our perception.
The Des Bryant catch or non-catch, really? The Romo drop snap. It's an 18
Who does that?
Field goal.
That never happens.
Yeah, and it's just like, and I could go. That's just a playoff.
No. What I'm saying is, one play here or one play there that doesn't go your way. I understand that part, but like, you say one bad game, that's not bad. One bad game is not bad.
I'm not just saying, but Nas, I'm not just specifically saying this game. He's asking me what needs to happen. I think like they need to sacrifice a goat or something. Like,
we at TruExact Radio do not promote
Peter,
sacrificing goats.
Stay with Mosquito.
Ellie runs an animal podcast.
Yeah, don't get us canceled.
Word.
No, but that might be a Nas. I know it sounds cheesy, but you're a Patriot fan. I bet every time they were losing, you felt, oh, Brady, something's going to happen where they're going to win, right? You had that feeling. Yeah. I have the opposite feeling. so picture that, like, fucking scale.
He's expecting somebody to make a play for him, and Scott's like, well, who's going to fuck this up for me? Because like, when's it going to happen? Because it's going to happen.
And that's just the playoffs. I could probably give you 10 to 15 regular season games the past 15 years where you would scratch your fucking head if I told you to YouTube them how the Cowboys lost the games. Very similar to the Chargers in the AFC. Like, like, what the fuck? Like, they're almost identical. Like, teams. Like, you just, with Rivers and Romo, it was like the same teams. And now it's like Dak and Herbert are like the same teams. It's really weird. So it would only be okay if they met in the Super Bowl and like tied or something. But let's move on. There's too much Cowboy talk. Who are we? ESPN? I'm not doing that. Let's move on to another game. I'm going to move on to one where, oh boy, do I have to eat crow. If you want to go back and hear me bash CJ Stroud, oh my God. What did I say? Yeah, it was a good run, CJ. You haven't gone. Thank you. Yeah. Good run.
Hey. Old man Joe Flacco.
Yeah. I'm a man. I could own up to it. Boy, was I wrong on this one. The Browns got absolutely crushed. I'll touch on this really quick and then pass it around. CJ Stroud, I apologize. And not that he played overly great. He did what he had to. He made the plays when he had to. Browns defense still let them down. They got the lead twice and then let it up. And then after the 1 pick six, you just kind of knew. And it's because they didn't wear their white uniforms. Like I said, they should have. So we'll go to Sir here. How much were you impressed by Stroud? And was that game a shocker?
Honestly, how often do you see a team with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback having this much success early, like in the first year? The Texans. I mean, I've been watching CJ Stroud. He's been balling all year, but like, just as like, who's he throwing the ball to? Like Nico Collins, Tank Dell, all these he's been balling all year. Yeah. So I'm not surprised about that. But the way the Browns defense, the Browns I believe were rated number 1 in the league total defense this year, and he lit them up. So like seeing a rookie do that. I mean, former defensive coordinator for my boys too. So I just see Mr. Rise have some success.
Then we'll go to the two people who like them on the money line. We'll start with Nas, though, man. You've been a Stroud fan, you and Tim, but yeah, go with your thing. You hate Joe Flacco. I'm just throwing that out there, but right?
Yeah, CJ Stroud he's up and coming, man. He played his tail off D'Amico Ryans, like I said in the last episode, he had that defense ready to play.
Yeah, it was kind of a
Defense
beating.
wins championships.
You're right. Defense travels, as they say. And they travel. Well, they didn't have to travel, but they got it this week. We'll touch on that game. Tim, you were the big proponent on CJ Stroud. You were going on and on. I know, and that's why you're big time Tim S, as I call him.
Because you can't spell my last name, but it's fine. No worries. Listen, you would have took money line. Big win.
Bro.
My same game from last week. Plus 475. Money in the bank.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Just tail. Just a little tail.
Yeah, he may like a bad team in the Jets, but he knows how to bet. I guess when your team's out of it week 2, that's all you got, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry. I just got to stop bashing the Jets here.
You got to be confident. You're turning into the Jets with the Cowboys. So
Yeah,
you're already grouping me and you together. So that's on you.
All right, then we'll go.
Hold on. Can I badmouth one team for a second?
Go on.
How donkey do the Carolina Panthers feel? Because I was talking about Tim about this earlier in the week. They had a chance to draft either C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. They traded their first-round pick and took Bryce Young.
You're right. It's kind of like taking Greg Oden over Kevin Durant, huh?
You know what I'm saying? They took this, and he's the reason. I think C.J. Stroud is the reason the GM of the Panthers got fired because the coach wanted Stroud, the GM wanted Young.
Yeah.
GM took Young. Stroud's balling. Bryce Young, not so much. See you later, GM.
Yeah, and you just feel bad because we're in a world where, when we were younger, Nas, you don't remember this, but quarterbacks used to get drafted and sit for 3 years. Since you probably became it's like it was unheard of that they would jump right. Like Matt Ryan might have been one of the first ones with the Falcons from Boston College. He jumped right into the starting role, and once he had success, I think he went 11-5 his first year actually. And then they were like, okay, we could do this. And now everybody, except the Packers who are smart, everybody just throws people out there, and it's
is there a
kind
correlation?
Of
is there a correlation behind the Packers' success at quarterback because they've got to be able to sit and watch? Like, I
know.
It makes a valid argument. Like,
then again, if I was the GM of 28 teams, I would have drafted Jordan Love. So is what it's. All right, I do want to touch on the Chiefs-Dolphins game really quick. Only one thing, because it kind of was a snooze fest. It was negative 30 degrees, and I called it. I knew there'd be a white guy out there with no shirt on. Always a white guy with no shirt on. Absolutely.
That ain't no shot, bro.
The hell's wrong with us?
I heard a fun fact about that Chiefs game. Or it was the Bills game. One of the games. Apparently, 15 people have been hospitalized due to hypothermia.
Oh my God!
I'm not sure if it's the Chiefs game or the Bills game, but But either way, come on, fam, y'all put a shirt on or something. It's cold out there.
Nas, would you have gone if you were a Chiefs fan and you lived around the corner? No?
Around the corner? Around the corner? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you have to. That's the environment you wanted to go to. Arrowhead.
But fam, would you have had your shirt off or would you put a hoodie on?
I barely take my shirt off the shower. I don't like my body. Why would I fucking put it on national television?
People out here with no shirt, thinking I'm like, I know beverages in your system, you'll feel warm, but nah, bro.
I'm good. Not enough beer could make me do that. Trust me. Rams-Lions, some could say game of the week. I think McVay made a bad decision. I would have actually on the 4th and 14 tried a 60-yard field goal with Maher. I actually would have done that. Or whoever their kicker was. I think it was Maher. I don't remember who their kicker was. I would give that a shot rather than try to convert a 4th and 14. But who the hell am I? I probably would have missed it and gotten bashed anyway. Tough position to be in. Good for Jared Goff. Just want to touch on that game a little bit. Nas, were you shocked at that? Even though you took the Lions money line, were you kind of pulling for Stafford? I know you got a soft spot for Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was the best game of the weekend, if you ask me. It was a shootout, basically. Well, it wasn't a shootout, but you know what I mean. They both were dealing. Amon St. Brown, man. That kid's special.
Yeah, he is very good. Good for the Lions, man. I know saw that 89-year-old fan crying who was a season ticket holder. That'll probably be me when the Cowboys win a Super Bowl. Half the people I love will be dead, and I wouldn't even have anyone to celebrate it with. Tim.
We're not dying on you, Scott. We'll be here the whole time. Don't worry.
I said people I love. So
this has been Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sense. So we're out of here. Nah, man, my Super Bowl pick is still alive. Lions against the Bills. We're in there.
No,
We're in
mine's
there.
dead.
And the house is happy because Sharice is a Lions fan, so we're winners in this house.
Wow. No offense to her, I love her, but what a loser household before a couple years ago, as far as liking teams. That
for
is
sure.
bad. So, who would have thought the Lions would be the best team in your household in your life?
It's not going well for your boy. I promise you that.
No, not even close. Sir, how do you feel? Are you mad that Staff lost? Or are you happy for Jay Goff? That's my nickname.
No, man, good for the Lions fans. Apparently, it's a fun fact. It was the first time that a Lions fan could send a text message saying "Congrats on a playoff win." You could say they haven't won a game in about 30 years, a home game in about 30 years.
Yeah, they beat the Cowboys.
I got good news though.
What?
I got good news. I think you'll be playing them next week.
Oh boy, would you think Sir will like that? Are you going to be happy for the Lions then, or no?
No. I mean, listen, I'm not happy. Anybody that faces it, I'm not happy. Nah, man, I think kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? But no, good for the Lions fans and the team. Like they've been going. Good for Jared Goff. Get some revenge against his old squad. They shipped him off to try to improve at the quarterback, and he says, "All right, I got something for y'all." So good for him.
They have something too, a Super Bowl, so they're not really crying.
Yeah, no, understood. But I mean, hey, listen, good for him. Good for the city of Detroit. Good for all them.
Right.
But if they play my boys, then nah, man, y'all can.
Won't even touch on the Bills Steelers snooze fest, even though someone here was dumb enough to take the Steelers. That wasn't me. That was Tim.
That game was close until the end. But yeah.
All right, so last game, and we'll touch on this kind of like we touched on the first game for like 5 or 10 minutes. Eagles Bucks. Yeah, like I want to know what you guys really think is wrong with the Eagles and what happened to them. Was it the coach? Because I think their soul got ripped out when they tried the tush push and it got stuffed, and that was like it was poetic. I texted my brother that, like, he's an Eagle fan, and I was like, man, how poetic is that? Like, the season, all year, no one could stop it. You're dominating, and then you fall apart at the end, and it gets stopped. And that kind of felt like the end of the era, the end of the season, just the tush push getting stopped, which is pleasant to watch. Hurts just, this is why you can't jump to the conclusion of quarterbacks after 1 year, 2 years, like, he didn't play well. If not for the 11 rushing touchdowns, he didn't have a good year at all. And the rushing touchdowns I put in quotes because, he got shoved in each time. But Tim, what do you think was wrong with Philly? And good for Baker. Throw that out there. Good for Baker.
Let Baker bake.
What'd I tell you? Let Baker bake. It's a real thing, Scott. People are saying it. Yes, they are. Man, Philly's got some issues. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's the quarterback play. I could see offensive-wise, like, they ran the ball efficiently early and then just immediately got away from it. I don't know I don't know if they went the same game plan as change what was working during the season, but it did look good. I kept saying, I'm like, all right, they're down a little bit. Like, all right, bet the money line. They're going to come back. They're going to make it work. I mean, not having AJ Brown is a bigger deal than I think anyone's making it out to be. They're blaming it on coach. I think you lose your star receiver. I don't know.
Do you fire Sirianni? Would you get rid of him, Tim?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, we were in the Super Bowl
For who?
last year. Well, I mean, there's some good replacements you could
Did you hear my
potentially get.
At the beginning of the episode, sir?
They're like, the latest thing I saw was
those candidates are going to want. I told you, those candidates are going to want GM power.
But Jeff Lurie's, I think, pretty well liked. Like how he rose, like they're not bad. Like they'll make it work.
No, Lurie's he's been drafted. He's been trading well. Like he's he's a solid GM. But like I don't think he wants to like. I said Harbaugh. The reason why Harbaugh was up.
Who's offensive coordinator for KC? Ben.
No, he went to Washington. He went to Washington.
No. What's the dude?
Isn't it Matt Nagy?
But it was dude from the Commanders now. Not Bellamy, but something like
whoever it is. That I can see something like that going there.
Yeah.
And sparking the offense, but
yeah. All right. Fair enough. Nas, how you feel about the Eagles?
I didn't expect Baker Mayfield to come out and play like that at all. You want me to be honest? But I think what really hurt the Eagles defensively, didn't they switch defensive coordinators in like mid-season?
Yes. They got that idiot with a pencil. First of all, if you're an adult and you have to sharpen I have to throw this out there. If you're an adult and you still sharpen a pencil, like, get a life. Go on.
I think that hurt them a lot defensively because now that's a new scheme, like especially in the middle of the year. And offensively, I mean, AJ Brown being hurt, that was big as best receiver on that team. And I think Jalen Hurts was banged up too, if I'm not mistaken. But he kind of fought through it, obviously. Yeah, I think that's really about it.
Yeah, it really was wild. You could argue them and the Dolphins had kind of the same ending. It was like both considered, you're one game away from a 2 seed. You have a back where you're not supposed to be. And not to mention, Dallas went into Tampa last year and beat Tom Brady. They beat the crap out of him. Like, Tampa's no world beater. And, like,
man, Tom Brady, 52 years old, bro.
Oh, but I'm just saying, like, that's the game you expect. Like, you kind of want it. It's like, all right, like, whatever. That's a freebie. And then we're going to San Fran and get our dicks kicked in. But at least this. But, like, now, sir, I know you have a soft spot in your heart for Philadelphia because of last year's NFC Championship. So how did you feel when they lost?
Honestly, like, they haven't been the same since San Fran came in and give them that work. True. They have, like, in the beginning of the season, they were winning games, but I was telling Eagle fans, like, y'all winning games, but a lot of those games in the beginning, y'all should have lost. Granted, listen, I'm not taking anything away from 10-1, but a couple of those games, they should have lost. They got lucky to sneak away with some of those W's.
Well, Washington took them to the wire twice. Washington,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Washington was giving them the business. A couple other teams, like, there were some close games in there that they escaped. Which, listen, good teams will find a way to win. I understand what you're saying, but yeah, I know. I see you, old boy. I know you.
You could even argue week one the Patriots could have beat them. Like, it was really from week one.
A few L's, but then once San Fran came in, and then basically, I think my man Bosa gave him the blueprint. Says, listen, this is how you get to Jalen. You got to keep him. He even said, teams, you got to do this. You got to rush the pass and keep him in front of you. And since then, teams have been following, and he hasn't been the same in the second half of the season. So,
I forgot to ask, though. Nas, do you fire the coach or no?
No.
Sir, do you fire him?
I don't think so. I mean, I think you got to get some coordinators because, like I said, last year at the beginning of the season, he lost both his coordinators.
Yeah.
He lost Steichen. Steichen went to, I believe, Indy, and he's been balling out there. So.
With Gardner Minshew, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that like, usually when you lose a coordinator, your coordinator struggles and you ball. You don't lose a coordinator, your coordinator balls out and you struggle. Like.
That's kind of what saved McCarthy, too, to backtrack on that. Kellen Moore didn't have a great year with the Chargers, and Dak ended up having an MVP caliber season.
Exactly. I'm saying.
So, Kellen Moore's stock dropped, boy, like the past few years.
Oh, you go to the Chargers and Herbert. Come on now, like.
Yeah. One more thing before we get to our picks here, I want to ask you. I'm going to give you have one drive to win the game. What AFC quarterback are you taking? I'm taking Patrick Mahomes. Tim.
Josh Allen.
Not.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Like there's only 4 teams left, Mo.
Well, 4 teams out of the teams left.
In postseason, right?
Postseason, 4 teams left right now.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes. As bad as I want to say Lamar, Patrick Mahomes.
And that's why you're good on the show. You're not biased. Sir, who you taking?
Patty Mahomes.
Damn, big Josh Allen guy here. Is that because, like, you see him twice? Just...
I test. Listen, if it wasn't for the miracle fucking drive, was 2 years ago?
Yeah.
The Bills are in the Super Bowl. Like,
yeah, but who made that miracle drive?
But hear me out.
Patrick Mahomes.
Who made the miracle drive before the miracle drive? People forget Josh Allen drove down the field in under a minute to score the touchdown that should have won the game.
I like Josh Allen. I'm just saying I don't know how you could. That's your thing. But I want to ask.
Find out. We're gonna find out.
A harder one. The NFC. Who you taking? Tim. Out of the 4 quarterbacks left, who you taking? It's hard.
Listen, I got to stick with my Super Bowl pick. So I'm Jared Goff, man. Give my boy.
He's been there. He made a big throw on 3rd down. Nas, who you taking?
Oh, I'm definitely not taking Baker. It's like 50-50 between Goff and Purdy.
Ooh, Jordan Love getting no love here. You got to pick. Gun to your head, Nas. That's how we do it. Take one.
All right, Jared Goff. He's the
right.
most experienced.
Sir, who you taking?
Man, you already know, man. Give me the Brock Star.
As much as I want to say Jordan Love, and I do think he's the best quarterback in these four, I'll stick by that. I'll post that in 2 years. I'll probably take Goff, and I'm not a huge fan of him, but you know what? He has been there. He's made big throws in his career, but that could change next week, because I'll tell you what, and I'm telling you right now, if Jordan Love goes in and beats San Francisco, the Packers are going to the Super Bowl. And it would be a wild story. And I should be fucking the scout for a team after that. But anyway, Scott, cue the music. Let's get into our picks. We're picking all 4 games here. Naz, you went 3-0. So I'm going to say you went 3-0, even though you picked the Lions money line. When it's a favorite, we like to do the spread. So they wouldn't have covered the 3-point spread, but I'm going to give you half a point there. So I'm going to give you a tie. I'm going to say you went 2-0-1. I went 2-1. Tim went 2-1. And Sir went 2-1 because of 1 point, I believe. It was, what was the
3-0, big up. 3-0.
Sorry, and Tim, you went 1-2? Yeah, that's right. Because of the 1 point, the over was 32-9, which hit the 41. The 40 bucks, and that's what the life is of being a Jet fan. So we're gonna go with Nas. First game starting off Saturday, 4:30. Texans at Ravens. 9.5 spread. The over/under at 43.5. Who you picking here?
I'm gonna buy it down. I'm going with the Ravens. I'm gonna go with 2.5.
Jeez.
And give me the over 43 points.
Oh my God. All right. Well, would you take the 9.5 with the Ravens or no?
Nah.
Okay, so I'm giving you the plus 9.5 with the Texans. We're going by that spread only.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you're
Nah,
taking
give me
the
Texans
Texans
plus
plus
9.5.
Scott, buy it down. Give me negative 5,000 on Houston plus 72. We're
Sorry, you went 3-0 as well. What are you doing?
I'm playing on this game because, like, I want to go Houston plus 9.5, but I think I'm going to go under 43.5. Listen, like as I said last week, outdoor games usually in this party I've usually leaned toward the under. It's going to be cold in Baltimore on a Saturday, so give me, give me the under.
Sir, you're gonna be proud.
Well, hold on. These teams did play in week 1, by the way, and it went 25-9, which simple calculations, that's under 43. So.
Well, anyone who's seen me try to do the same game parlay math, you'll have to take Sir's word for it. So you're going to be very proud of me. You want to know why?
Well, so are you going over-under, sir, instead of spread?
I am going to do an over-under here. Because
Good.
I don't know about this. I want to take the Ravens minus 9.5. I really do. I think that the rest of the team, the MVP, what's 20-10? That's nothing. But I'm going to go the under 43.5 as well with you, sir. I can see something like a 24-17, 24-20, or sorry, not 24-14, which still goes the under. So I'm going to do that as well with you. Tim, what do you got? Mr. 1 and 2.
Here's your pick of the week. You ride the hot hand. CJ Stroud. Money line. What's the Texans? Upset the Baltimore Ravens. Do you know who Lamar Jackson is in the playoffs?
I do. Yeah,
1
1
and
and
3.
3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Justin Fields. That's who he is.
Ooh,
He's not winning. He's not
that.
winning this game. I don't care how good the team is. You saw what Houston did against the number 1 ranked defense last week. Nothing's going to change. There's no difference in this game. Lamar Jackson's the difference. The problem is he's your regular season quarterback. He's not your playoff guy. It is what it is. I'm pretty sure he has more rushing yards in the playoffs than he does passing yards. You don't win in the postseason.
Sir, before we get to you, I would like Nas to retort because I know they wanted to go at it about Lamar. For people listening,
No, actually, this is about Lamar, actually. Fun fact, CJ Stroud has the same amount of touchdown passes and playoff wins as Lamar Jackson.
Ooh, Nas, Lamar's your boy. I want you to retort here. Go for it.
You'll see Saturday.
Fair enough. So we got Tim has the option to take the Texans as a 9.5, but he is going balls to the wall. Money line, Nas taking the Texans 9.5. Me and Sir taking the under 43.5. But if you want to buy it down, listen to Nas's picks because apparently he had some other chick going on.
You know what? I'm switching.
You're switching.
Just because of that, give me Baltimore minus 9.5.
Wow,
I feel like Lamar
right.
comes
Let's
out
do this.
and just shuts everybody up. Just quiets everybody. This, you can't do this. You're a running back. Oh, you got one touchdown pass in the playoffs. He has some for
No. He's got more than one. He's got 3 touchdown passes and 1 rushing touchdown. But 7
It's
turnovers.
true. All right,
We'll double
go
that.
to our 8 o'clock game on Saturday night. Sir will be probably 10 drinks deep by this time, and I'm going to start with him here on this one. So your Green Bay Packers at your San Francisco 49ers, plus 9.5. They really aren't doing us favors with these hooks here if you want to take these teams. Ooh, it's tough. Sir, what do you got?
Give me over 50.5. That's it. I'm just listen. As I said, Green Bay can score. San Fran can put up points. Like, listen, Green Bay is a good first quarter team, as shown against Dallas. They got out to a lead, and like I said, Dallas didn't get no pressure on them, but they got out to a lead, and then they ran it with Jones. San Fran's a little different. They should get some pressure off. Or get Armstead back. He's a nice little clog in the middle to stop the running game. Both coming off the edge, so we'll get some pressure. But I see some points being scored.
Yeah, that is an interesting take. Nas, go for it. What do you got?
Give me San Fran minus 9.5.
Woo.
They gave Christian McCaffrey, I think, the best running back in football, a week's rest. They still got Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and they're home. And that defense is playing lights out behind Fred Warner. Give me the 9.5.
Damn,
Yeah,
Nas
actually,
going balls deep here with 2 9.5 spreads.
Yeah.
That week, people say the rust, but I think that week off helped
Right.
them because they were dealing with like minor little nicks and things. So that week to get right.
Tim, we'll go with you.
I'm agreeing with Nas, man. Minus 9.5. Green Bay tailed off towards the end of that game against Dallas. I know they're playing prevent defense, whatever. It's not good to see because that game somehow looked like it could be close. Now you're playing a San Fran team. That's the total package. They're a complete football team. It's going to be very, very difficult. Nick Bosa, believe it or not, the coaches in San Fran are going to rush Nick Bosa. He's going to come for the quarterback. Best of luck, Jordan Love.
I'll say this. I think
Nick Bosa will not drop into coverage like Michael Parsons did.
I think a lot of times we forget the team on the bye how good they were because you watch the wild card week. That happened with the Cowboys when they beat the Seahawks in 2018. They had to go to LA to play the Rams, and people were like, "Oh, the Cowboys are going to win," and it's just you forgot how good the Rams were because you don't watch them play. That being said, the Niners have beat the Packers 4 straight times in the playoffs. For what it's worth, the Niners have kind of owned the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Kaepernick used to run all over them and beat them. They've lost to Jimmy G. They lost in Lambeau a couple years ago, 13-10 in the playoffs. But what kind of a person would I be if I ditched Jordan Love right now? Seriously, what kind of person would I be? I'm taking the Packers plus 9.5.
All right.
I do think there's some sort of like momentum and aura about them. And the Niners built the Jordan Bulls right now in the Niners. That's what the Niners are. But you know what? Sometimes they got a tough road. And the Bulls did get taken to 6 games a couple times by the Knicks. And the Knicks lost, but that's beside the point. I will say the 9.5. I'm going to say 27-21, 30-23. I do think the Niners will win this game, but I think it's Green Bay's playing with house money right now, and like I said, if the Packers do this, oh my God, that will be wild. I'll start
But
with...
the one thing I gotta say was, as Nas said, I think McCaffrey's gonna have a good little game because they're gonna run the football. That's one thing, and Green Bay is against the run, is a little suspect. So I do see McCaffrey having a big game for himself.
Right, I agree. Good, best weight running back since Zach Zenner for the Lions. Remember that guy?
Peyton Hillis wasn't bad, bro.
Actually, yeah, Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis.
Madden covered.
Yeah, then he missed like 6 games because of strep throat. Like, bro.
Well, the Madden curse got him, all right?
He got strep throat. Like, what are we doing here? Again, I played basketball with strep throat. You can't carry a football? God, he would kill me. He would kill me. Let's go on. Speaking of Packers, I don't know if I ever told the story. You know I almost got in a fist fight with Gilbert Brown 9 years ago? Remember Gilbert Brown, the gravedigger? He was like, this guy's 370 pounds. He was a lineman for the
Gilbert
Packers.
would eat you, so.
I just have to tell the story. It's like 2 minutes. It's actually really funny. So we were in line at the Dez catch game, me and my dad, and I wanted to take a picture with him, and I had a Cowboy jersey on, and I had bought like a stupid little helmet for him to take a picture with, because you had to like pay, kind of like those nerdy wrestling expos you go to where you gotta buy a picture of like fucking, I don't know, like Taka Michinoku to take a picture with him, or Virgil, yeah, there's one. So
You leave Virgil alone, Mo.
I step in and he goes, I'm not taking a picture of you. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you got the wrong jersey on. I go, but I bought your helmet. And then he goes, I don't care, next. So my dad saw me arguing in his face. He had to come pull me over. And my dad goes, what are you doing? You're arguing with Gilbert Brown. I go, yeah, the fucker thinks he's Reggie fucking White. Who does he think he is? And then and my dad's like, he'll fucking kill you. And I go, ooh, the grave digger? Yeah, real tough guy here at a Brett Favre fucking barbecue with the fans. How come he doesn't have a suite, huh? Oh, man. So, lo and behold, I almost got killed by Gilbert Brown. Still hate his guts to this day for not taking a picture with me. All right. We go to the 3 o'clock game, which some could argue is probably one of the worst games, which could end up being the best. We got the Bucks plus 6.5 in Detroit. Now, I'm just going to straight up say it. I think the Lions might have blew their load. Congrats, you got your first win in 30 years. The Bucks are only 2 or 3 years removed from a Super Bowl. They do still have that defense. They still have that offense. Baker Mayfield has been playing good. I'm taking them the plus 6.5, and I think this is the one game I wouldn't be shocked if the Buccaneers win this game. I really wouldn't be. So I'm going to take the Bucks plus 6.5. Tim?
Detroit Lions minus 6.5. I'm right against you, Scott. I don't know. Coming up with a win against what was the quote-unquote hottest team going into the playoffs, the Rams, that's a huge win. You might say they blow their load, whatever. I know that stadium is going to be ridiculous. First of all, it's going to be indoors, for those of you who know what I'm talking about. But guess what, Baker? The oven, it's going off. The bread is burnt. You're done.
Stop with this. This isn't going to catch on.
Aiden Hutchinson is coming for you. It's a wrap. They're done. Detroit.
I hate your Baker references. I almost want them to lose so your Baker references are done.
They're going to lose. That's why I said minus 6.5 for Detroit.
Like if he wins by 12, are you going to say it's the Baker's dozen or something like that?
Maybe.
Hey, nah, go on.
By the way, sir, they had to lose by 13. Isn't the Baker's 13?
Oh, yeah, you're right. 13, very good. I won't edit that out because I'm not ashamed of myself. Go on.
That's what that is. Come on, man.
Give me Detroit minus 6.5. I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar Baker doesn't come out and play again like how he played last week.
God, Baker hater here. I don't even like him that much. But
Bottom
geez,
dollar.
I give him little respect. That's a bottom dollar. Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
This is the team. This is the team that did not score a touchdown against the Carolina Panthers. But give me Detroit minus 6.5.
It's true, you know, but the Eagles did lose to the Jets, so the Patriots and the Bills. Sir, go on.
Hey, man, listen. Man, what's up with these Bucks, man? What's up for Russell Gage? You know? He's gonna have a good game. If you know, you know. But nah, these teams met and they played. Detroit won 20-6. You know, Goff had a little ball game. Shot for 350 and 2. Baker 200 yards, do a pick. I don't know. I don't really like taking sides, so I'm gonna go over. 48.5. 9 games this year at Detroit. The over is 7-2. Points get scored in that building, so give me the over 48.5.
How did you just start doing over and unders? I mean, like, it just amazes me how.
Hey, I went over and I went 3-0. That's what I'm talking about here.
You are right. I just can't picture myself rooting for scoring or not scoring. I don't know. All right, last game, which I think most could say this is the best game of the week, which means we'll probably get a 3-2 thriller, you know. But we'll start with Tim for this. The Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have not beaten the Chiefs in a meaningful game. This reminds me a lot of the Peyton Manning Colts and the Tom Brady Patriots, which he just couldn't get over the hump until he did. Tim.
Until he did.
Plus 2.5, by the way.
I can't go back on Josh Allen. I'm going Buffalo minus 2.5.
Okay.
It's his year. They're finally going to beat him in the playoffs. That's it. Stand it. I Approved.
Damn, all right, I will stamp it, and then I'll bet Naz's bottom dollar on the other game. Any other fucking things we want to say? All right, Naz, what you got?
Give me the Chiefs, man. What are they, like,
Are you
plus
taking
one?
the money line or plus 2.5?
Money line. Money line. Give me the
You know,
Chiefs.
I just want you guys to know we do have the option to win a game plus the. You don't have to take the money line on the underdogs, but I respect it, sir.
All I got to say is Josh Allen needs to win this game. Like, he needs to win. Like, Mahomes is 2-0 against him in the postseason. Like, every big moment the Bills have, usually it's involving them looking at Mahomes and Chiefs celebrating. They beat them in the regular season earlier. Like, Mahomes is 8-1-1 as a career as an underdog. But I don't know. I'm torn on this game because I want to take Buffalo -2, but as he says, I do over/under. So give me under 45. Because again, they're playing in Buffalo. It's going to be lake effect snow. I mean, it's going to be cold, and usually cold weather games tends to go under. So give me under 45.
All right, I have two rules. One is I remember 8 or 9 years ago, Alabama was an underdog to Georgia, and I felt if you get Alabama on the money line as an underdog, you bet Alabama. I have a second rule. If you get Patrick Mahomes as an underdog, you bet Patrick Mahomes. I will take the Chiefs. I will take the Chiefs money line as well. I'll be with Nas. I won't even take the ballsy move. But what's 2.5? Like, who gives a shit? Hey, you're going to lose by field goal anyway. I'm taking the money line, plus 120, 125. I'm rooting for the Chiefs. They're my Super Bowl pick. I think they'll be the first team to repeat since the 03-04 Patriots. And everyone's been counting them out. And if Mahomes wins this game, you know, Josh Allen, if it's because they don't score, it's not Josh Allen's fault they lost.
If Josh Allen loses this game, he will never beat the Chiefs. Because this is the year to take him out.
I agree. You got it all set up. It's in your building.
The Chiefs' offense in general has been not what they used to be. This year they're not. And so if he doesn't beat them this year, I don't think it will happen.
All right, well, that's our picks for this divisional round here. So now we'll get to our same game parlays. Tim hit last week on the same game parlay, so I'll let him start with this one. Go for it.
I'm going to go to the Detroit Lions game, and I'm heavy on Detroit. Unlike last week, I split it up. One from both teams, or two from one from the other. My first leg, David Montgomery over 55.5 rushing yards. 2 of his last 3 games has been over. I think they're going to need to use the run. I'm going 55.5 rushing. The other thing that the Bucs can't do, they give up yards to tight ends. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking Laporta over 36.5 receiving, and I'm taking him for an anytime score. My 3-leg parlay, plus 500. Put it in.
All right, so that's 50 for 250. Say, I'm pretty good with that.
Good math.
Thanks. Nas, go for it. You're Mr. SGP, same game parlay.
I'm going to go to the Ravens and Texans game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have odds for this.
Go for it. I'll make them up.
All right. I'm going to go Lamar Jackson over 50.5 rushing yards, I think it said that. I'm going to go there. I'm also going to go Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go C.J. Stroud over 1.5 touchdown passes.
I'll say that's a plus 900. 50 for 450. Sounds about right for that. All right, so he'll be tuned into that 4:30 game. Sir, go for it.
All right, I'm going to the Chiefs-Bills game.
Me too.
All right, I told y'all last week, first leg, give me Josh Allen over 43.5 rushing yards. When it comes to big games, he's going to keep the ball in his hand and he's going to run, and it's going to be cold, and ain't nobody try to tackle him in the cold weather. You know, second leg, give me Dalton Kincaid over 40.5 receiving yards. He's hit this over in 3 straight games. You know, Josh Allen fights him the ball. And then my third leg, give me Rashee Rice over 67.5 receiving yards. He has back-to-back 120 yards plus games. Mahomes, he's one of the only options that he trusts. Like, yeah, Kelsey's been up and down, but Rashee Rice has been Mahomes' go-to guy. So I feel like 6-7 yards should be easily obtained.
All right. I'm going to go to that game.
That's a plus 525 SGP, by the way.
It's not bad. I have one that is definitely going to win people money. So this is a plus 1,800, which means it's 50 for 90, and it's only 3 legs. but I do think this is going to win. Chiefs to win. Josh Allen to throw 1 interception and Travis Kelce to score 2+ touchdowns. I don't think that's that far out of the realm. I think Travis Kelce has been, distracted a little bit by his beau up in the suite. And will she be at
the game?
Probably. I don't think so.
Hopefully she's out there freezing. They don't got a box for her.
It's cold, bro. It's going to be cold.
I feel like he's due.
Exactly. I think he's been hearing the chirping. He can't drop passes. I mean, listen, Jake Ferguson scored 3 touchdowns last week. You're telling me Travis Kelce can't score 2? 50 for 900? That's the way to go. 25 for 450. 12 for 225.
No,
I could keep going.
1250. Yeah, we got to add cents in there at some point. But who cares?
So that's my same game parlay. Really quick, last round table here. What's the weirdest jersey you've ever owned as a sport fan of your team? Mine is a Cowboy Billy Cundiff jersey. Lightning round. Tim, what do you got?
I had a Jason Kidd Nick jersey, I think.
Wow.
It was whoever it was on clearance, so I don't think it was made in the United States. So,
or Jason Kidd just wasn't there for more than a year. Nas, weird jersey you own?
I had a Lawrence Maroney jersey.
Oh my God, that's one, sir.
I don't know if it's a weird jersey, but I mean, he was a beast when he played, but he didn't last long. Alden Smith.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say Merton Hanks.
No, I do like Merton Hanks, but I didn't really get his jersey though. But Alden Smith, he was a beast. But then he got the little drug accident.
I'm pretty sure he was a Cowboy
for about a hand sandwich. Yes.
We signed him after,
Yeah, he dealt with his problems, and he was a beast.
Everyone else.
But that's why Alden Smith is the reason why I pretty much stopped buying jerseys, because every time I buy a jersey, they either get traded or they go through some problems. So
yeah. I've had 2 kicker jerseys. I had a Dan Bailey jersey as well. Oddly enough.
Do you just want to burn your money? Why?
I also have a Tony Romo Eastern Illinois jersey.
When's the last time you wore that Dan Bailey jersey?
I sold it, actually, after they cut him.
Somebody fucking bought that from you? That's more impressive.
Yeah, online.
Wait, you had to give them money for it.
What's up?
You had to give them money to take it.
No, someone brought my Billy Cundiff jersey too. I used to wear it in high school. People were like, "Is that a Billy Cundiff jersey?"
Wait a minute. Where did you acquire this? Did you go to the mall and
I had it custom made on the Cowboys website. When you had to, you used to have to call the magazines and have ordered over a phone, and I had it custom made. Billy Cundiff jersey. I also had a Bobby Carpenter jersey for the Cowboys. Brandon Carr.
Save your money, children. Yeah. Save your money.
I had some weird jerseys. Brady James. I fucking yeah.
If you're a fan of a team, just buy the merch with the logos on it. Don't go out there and buy jerseys.
That's what I do now. Yeah, absolutely. I also have a Darren Woodson jersey though. I hung on to that one. So everybody, this is our episode. We'll be back next week for the recap of the division round and then the preview of the conference championships. Bet wisely. Use your, what does it say? Heart, not your head, or head, not your heart.
Let's go, Lamar.
There we go. Lamar Jackson, Nas's boy.
Bang Niner gang.
If he loses this game, he's got a lot to answer for, and so will Nas next week. So tune in. Bye, everyone.